Off the top tonight at 11, it is yet another supply shortage to come out of the pandemic. First toilet paper, then microchips, now child care.
Parents are scrambling to get on waiting lists while daycare centers struggle to find workers. News 8's Jacqueline Francis talked with those on both sides of this issue as they search for a solution. Jacqueline.
Sue and Brian, we're learning it's an all-around desperate situation. Without enough child care, parents can't get back to work. And without enough staff, daycare centers are having to cut back on the number of kids they can take. It's the child care crisis no parent could prepare for. Pregnant during the pandemic, Shelby Orlikowski started the search months before her son was even born.
It was probably like June or July. I had reached out to places saying I'm due in October. It'll be for January, and a lot of places it was all the same. It was the same response, is that he could go on a list and then they would let us know as it got closer.
As time passed, the wait list grew longer and the competition more fierce.
It came time for me to go back to work from my maternity leave, and we still hadn't heard. And when I called back, they had said, unfortunately, we're not sure what's going on, with everything, so we don't have any availability. I had called around to other places, and most of them were like fall or winter of this year.
Waitlisted for months on end, the first-time parents had no choice but to cut back at work. Shelby switching to part-time while her wife picked up the weekend shift. After putting the call out on social media, we learned the Kent City family was far from alone. Dozens of West Michigan moms giving their horror stories, riddled with wait lists and compromises. Child care providers weighing in as well.
And COVID hit, and that was a big issue with centers having to shut down. There were some centers that I know of that even though they were closed, they were making parents still pay to potentially keep that spot open for their child if they were to reopen.
One child care center in Grand Haven reopening with fewer kids than ever before, saying they have the space but not the staff.
This past year is really when it's come to a head, when we just can't take anymore. We're letting parents know that are on our wait list that we're so sorry. We have the spaces here, but we don't have the hands to care for your children yet. And that is, that's hard to say to parents that are really needing to get back to work now and work outside the home now.
On top of it all, there's a major financial component to this. Parents telling us affordable child care is next to impossible to find, while daycare centers say they don't have the money to pay their staff a competitive rate, which makes the hiring process all the more challenging, especially as other industries continue to ramp up their hourly pay. In studio, Jacqueline Francis, News 8.